when somebody in the surf community dies, we go out, we paddle out in the water, and we form a circle. So I said, we're going to have this for George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery. My name is Veronica Avery, and I was born in Paso Robles, California. And I was raised in a little town in the South Salinas Valley called San Ardo, population 500. So I now live in Paso Robles, the town that I was born in. So when I think about that question, why am I an activist? It's really an easy answer. When you see something that's happening to a certain population and it's not right, there is something inside of me that says I have to do something. The very first time I became active was when I saw that the Dakota Access Pipeline was going through the backyard of the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation. And I remember looking at the images on Facebook at the time and these pictures of these grandmothers being sprayed with pepper spray. And there was this call to action, and they asked for medics to come out there, and there was nothing that could stop me. There was something inside of me that just said, this is the right thing. I have to help in the way that I can. I remember hearing about Ahmaud Arbery and that sensation I felt in my heart to see this, to hear this story. I remember walking in his honor in memorializing him. And at that time, I think it kind of took the scabs off of these, old wounds of hearing about, Trayvon Martin and Sandra Bland, so many others. Hearing about George Floyd on Memorial Day and seeing that video. And then I started seeing the images of these cities burning, and that matched what I was feeling inside. And it was almost as if, you have this pot of boiling water and you take off the lid and all this vapor came out. It was really hard to see those images as well. I saw the video of a motorcycle gang that had come to Paso Robles, and they were standing right in front of the Chamber of Commerce, cracking a whip at a Black Lives Matter protest that had happened on Tuesday. And that fury came back again. And I thought, okay, this is really big. I'm a chamber member. I'm a Black business owner. I was born here in this town. We need a way to express our grief and our frustration. And this is our First Amendment right to do so. I had a lot to say, and I had so much frustration, and I poured all of it into what would be our first Black Lives Matter paddle out in Avila Beach. I got a hold of Tony Corley, and he is the founder of the Black Surfing Association. The idea behind the paddle out comes from a Polynesian tradition, and when somebody in the surf community dies, we go out, we paddle out in the water, and we form a circle. So I said, we're going to have this for George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery, who we lost recently, and for all of those who have. who have, s- who have fallen. When we become active, we become active, we become active. 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 We bec it's an expression of taking our power back. In those places where we feel that we've been made to feel like we don't belong, we make a statement, peaceful protest. And even the Black Lives Matter paddle outs in Avila Beach, it wasn't peaceful enough for the community. And I still had people attacking me and calling me a terrorist. And, they didn't like what we were doing. It didn't matter how peaceful we were. We weren't blocking streets. We weren't, we were at the beach with our surfboards. And, I still had people come after me, which was, it's hard. People look at me and they're like, go back to wherever it is you came from, I could say that pretty much my whole life, I feel like I've been living in two worlds. From my father's side, African American, from the slave trade times. And then on my mother's side, I'm first generation American. So on my mother's side, she was born and raised in Mexico. And she and my father, bridged two worlds as well. So I really identified as Latina. My mother looks very different than I do. So straight hair, lighter skin. And even though I felt Latina because I was raised that way, when people looked at me, they never saw that. So there was a little bit of disconnect there. The question of what does it mean to be Afro-Latina is, really working to embrace both of those cultures. And, it hasn't always been available in living in an area that has so little diversity. But there's also a really important thing that's missing when you don't see the color. You don't see the history or the generational trauma. You don't see that maybe Black folks are living a totally different reality than most people are right now. Whether you agree with Black Lives Matter protests or not, if you look a certain way and you're walking around in these times, fast or rewind back a year, you had to be the spokesperson for Black people, for all Black people at that time. The truth is when people see me, they see me as being a certain way, and it may not be, how I've connected with myself. So when you're born into a certain lineage, you carry that. You carry the dreams of your ancestors, and you carry something in your blood, a very rich history. My dad went all the way through high school, never integrated. It's not so far behind us, some of these things from our past. So moving forward, and this movement for social justice has really helped me to connect more with my roots. Maybe I've been trying to blend in all this time. As I'm becoming more active, I'm realizing how much work needs to be done on the inside and also within our systems and our structures. I would say that I feel a sense of belonging at home. I love my home. I have 19 chickens and 2 cats, a bunny, 2 dogs, and my wonderful daughter. She's 12, almost 13 years old. I've worked very hard to have this wonderful home that we have in Paso Robles. I feel a sense of belonging when I go surf. Maybe I've been trying to blend in all this time. as I'm becoming more active, I'm realizing how much work needs to be done on the inside and also within our systems and our structures. So the sense of belonging for me is always somewhere that I've created here.